Hi, my name is Nina Gigi, and I want to talk to you about suicide. It's a really hard subject to talk about, but I've had quite a lot of experience in it, and I'm just doing it to help people that are feeling lost, suicidal, and they feel that that's the only way out. So let me tell you my experiences, I should say. Yeah, I'm gonna need a cigarette for this. Okay, the very first one was I was 9 years old and it was my dad. He killed himself. He was 48, and it left a hell of an impression on me. And I'm 60 years old and I still remember it. And he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, epilepsy. He was a violent man. Had bouts of drinking, smoking, and I didn't really know him that well, but what I knew of him, he was unpredictable and predictable at the same time. He did some weird things. For instance, he got a magazine and cut out all these pictures of ships and bombs and things being blown up and pasted them on our front room window. And I've got pictures of that, or one picture of that. And another time he was digging a hole in our yard, in our garden, and said, "That's my grave." I remember this so vividly. And there was another time where he was making out he was dying. And he was sliding down the wall, you know. He goes, "Oh, I'm dying, I'm dying." Other than that, I mean, he would get up every day and see us off to school. And I don't remember too many good times with him. I remember when I was about 5 years old, came home drunk and I wasn't feeling good and I was on the couch and looking for my lighter, and he came in drunk and picked up the couch and threw it across the room with me on it. And there was another time where this is when he was bathing me, and I was about between 6 and 9 months old, I guess. And he picked me up, and I guess I slipped from his hands and hit my head on the bathtub. And because I remember crying, and he was splashing water at me, trying to get me to be quiet, shut up. You know, my mum came home, and anyway, out of that, my head was starting getting bigger, and I'd got water on the brain, and hydrocephalus, and I started having convulsions. And my mum took me to the hospital, knew there was something wrong with me, and they drained my head. And I've got a scar from here all the way around here. Anyway, one particular night, I heard a thump, and I called out to my parents, "Is everything all right?" I'm 9 years old, okay? This was March 25th, 1971. Anyway, she goes, yeah, everything's all right. Go back to sleep. So, anyway, that morning, Dad wasn't up. My mum was up to see us off to school. And she said to me, "Nina, why don't you go upstairs and wake your dad, give him a cup of tea?" I said, "Okay." So I went upstairs and I saw a cup of tea on the nightstand that she had brought up earlier, and it was cold. I thought that was weird. God, I remember it so vividly. Wow. So I put the tea on the nightstand, and I said, "Dad, wake up, we're going off to school." I didn't do it too much because I was afraid that he would wake up and hit me. So I went back downstairs and said to Mummy, "He won't wake up." So she said, "We'll just go off to school." So I did. Lunchtime came. Me and my brother went home from school. We'd always try to race each other. He got there first and opened the door and said, "Dad's gone to the hospital," singing it. Dad used to beat up my brother quite a bit. And my mum. Oh, I remember so many times when she had blood on her. But anyway, I went through to the kitchen and I said, "Where's Daddy?" And she said, "Ambulance took him to the hospital." I said, "What happened?" She said, and she showed me a bag of barbiturate tablets that he'd saved up. He'd spat out. So what had happened? He'd got out of bed. Remember when I said, "Hey, I heard a sample," he fell out of bed, went downstairs, made a cup of tea, wrote a note on his chest in ink, upside down, but it was that way so you could see it. "Mental Peter, now that I've come out of mental hospital, it's time that I should die," something like that. And he'd taken a ton of pills. He must have saved them up for a long time. And anyway, as kids, we really thought we were going to see him on Saturday, which was the 27th. And so we went down to the sweet shop to get him some candy, and I got him Spangles, which is like lifesavers over here, peppermint ones, and the other kids got him chocolate, I think it was. Anyway, we went to the hospital on the Saturday, hoping that we'd see him and he was going to come home with us. Anyway, when we got there, we had to wait in the waiting room, and all of a sudden, all these doctors and nurses started running around, being back and forth. I mean, panic, pandemonium. And then all of a sudden it stopped. And so the doctor came out and said to my mum, "We need to put the children in another room. I've got some news for you." She goes, "No, whatever you say it in front of us and in front of the kids." And he said, "I'm very sorry. Your husband's heart stopped." And as soon as I heard that, I went bananas. I went crazy. I just kept running in the ward. It wasn't in a private room. And, it's a ward for other patients, and the curtains were drawn around, so I was trying to get to the curtains, and I was crying and screaming, "I want my daddy, I want my daddy." And the doctors were trying to run after me and catch me. When they did, I'd get away and I'd try and get to him again. God, it was like it was yesterday. Anyway, finally we did get to see him. His eyes were closed. His mouth was kind of crooked. I guess that's where they put the apparatus or something. I saw the note on his chest in ink, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. On the way home, the taxi drove up to our house, and I looked, and he was at the window, beckoning me like this, "Nina, come on," like that. It scared me, it did. I said to my mum, "Look, Dad's at the window." I looked back again. He was gone. I heard my name being called after that by a man, Nina, different times of my life in the early years. Haven't heard it in a few years now. So anyway, funeral was arranged. There's a newspaper article about him, and I have that. And my mum was so upset. I remember her saying when she saw him, "Oh, Peter, Peter, why did you do this?" You know. Anyway, at the funeral, I threw the spangles that I'd saved on his coffin. The other two, they ate their chocolate, but I wanted to save it, so I wanted him to have it. That was March 27th, 1971. That suicide has made a big impact on my life, even today. It takes a lot of courage, I believe, to commit suicide. He was a sick man. I know that now. But the fact that my own dad killed himself says a lot. His last words, my mum said, when he was going to bed that night, he must have taken the pills already. She said he was at the window, looking out the window in the bedroom, and was talking, and he said, his last words were, "Make sure Nina's okay. Take care of Nina. Make sure she's alright." There was my brother, and I had 3 other sisters. Only one lived with us at that time. But why talk about me, you know? Anyway, it's made a big impact on my life. Never had a dad after that. Everyone says it's a selfish thing to do. In a way it is. But I think when you've made that decision to commit suicide, I think you've crossed over to insanity. You're so desperate you don't know what to do, but it is a permanent act that you do for whatever situation you're in, whatever you're going through. It's temporary and it will pass and you can get help. I think he was just way beyond help. I don't know. Paranoid schizophrenia is a very, very difficult mental illness to deal with. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen that he would do, oh, it would scare you to death. It really would. It scared me. So, for those of you that are thinking of committing suicide, please think again. Don't do it. It's the aftermath of the people that you've left. Your family, your friends. It's us that are being left behind. We're the ones that suffer. And I suffered a lot. This isn't the first suicide in my family, let me tell you that. My immediate family. There's a few more I need to tell you about too. But all in good time. So please reconsider about doing this by killing yourself. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Think about who you're going to affect, who it affects. It ruined my life. It really has. constantly thinking about it all the time. Anyway, please subscribe to my channel if you want to know more about my life. I am doing my life story. If you want to know more about me, my life story is really, some of it is unbelievable, but it's all true. I've got 4 more suicides to talk about. Yeah, in my immediate family. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And take care, okay? Thanks, guys.